Thank you, lover.
Yeah. This one's mine.
Or do you always have to?
Getting old.
When you said,
Getting old. I'm at that point where like I have to like lift my pants and then sit down so that there's like space and everything. It's an old thing. You'll get there eventually. What's up, babe?
"What's up? Welcome to." Welcome to the U Plus Coffee podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Adrian.
I was gonna say something.
And together we are U Plus Coffee. Yeah. So dumb.
I know what I was gonna say. You said that I'll get there.
Yeah. But you're older than I am.
That, but I forgot to mention.
I didn't want to out you, but yeah.
Okay, well, when we were sharing our testimonies, one of the big reasons why you said you would never date me was because I was older than you.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
And here we are.
joke's on you.
Joke's on me. What an idiot.
Because you married me?
No, because I just thought that I wasn't going to marry older than I am, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice way to save yourself.
Yeah, we're probably not going to use this, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Take two.
What do you have to drink today?
Today, dude, I feel like I'm all coffeeed out, and that's crazy for me to say because I've been drinking coffee since I was like a baby, literally. But today I just have a nice chai.
Well, chai has a little bit of caffeine in it.
Yeah, so does like chocolate,
I guess.
you know, but you don't see me going like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go crazy on chocolate. It has so much caffeine.
I guess.
But yeah. Yeah, what do you got?
I also have an iced chai latte.
Nice.
Is it a latte? It is a latte, isn't it?
Technically, anything,
Or is it just a nice...
if I'm not mistaken, I think anything that has milk in it
is a latte.
is considered a latte.
Yeah, so it's an iced chai latte.
Yeah, except like now, if you're getting like fancy, you could do a cortado, but all that is just half. So like equal parts, half. Yeah, equal. Bleh,
I don't know. I was just holding that like
equal
I was
parts espresso
sponsored.
to milk.
Got it.
Let me say it one more time. A cortado is equal parts espresso to milk.
Got it.
So it's like a 1-to-1 ratio.
Got it.
Yeah, that's my favorite drink too, though. Stuff is so good.
Yeah.
Except I suck at frothing milk or at steaming milk, so I never make them.
Yeah. I was supposed to get. Yeah. I'm not coffeeed out. I haven't had coffee today.
Yeah.
Because I was saving it. My coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get coffee earlier, and then
Right.
I just didn't end up making. We didn't end up turning on the machine.
Nope.
So I did the lattes, and I actually am a normal human being and measure out the measurements.
Nah.
I'm not a psychopath, and
Nah.
just.
Shout out Uncle Roger. We go by feeling.
Okay, I go with feelings with my food.
Nah, I go feelings with everything.
I guess.
Yeah. What's on today's agenda?
We could talk about why I only have one cup of coffee a day.
Why do you have one cup of coffee a day?
Because of hormones and stuff.
Ooh.
Well, okay, so I haven't gotten my hormones actually like tested.
You can have your hormones tested?
Yeah.
What?
You can like go get blood work and they'll like I guess I don't know what the whole process is. And you'd think that I would know because I'm weird and
You're like
I'm
a holistic doctor now?
I'm not a holistic doctor. I'm scrunchy.
Scrunchy.
I'm scrunchy. So
Okay.
I'm not like full crunchy,
Okay.
but I'm
So like an
scrunchy.
80-20?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I'm a little more like 50-50, if I'm being honest.
You're 50-50?
Babe, we had McDonald's for breakfast this morning. I am not 80-20.
Well, if the McDonald's could be part of your 20.
No, it's a higher gap. Let's be real.
Okay.
Like, I try to be as crunchy as I possibly
Yeah.
can. I don't know where the scrunchy is. Like, I don't know if it's the scrunchy is somewhat crunchy. I'm assuming. I don't know what's, but scrunchy is like you're not 100% crunchy.
Right,
like
right, yeah.
But
It's like crunchy and then non-crunchy and then scrunchy's like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So yeah, the reason why I do that is because of hormones. I used to drink coffee like
Like a madman?
Like a madman.
My excuse is like, there's water in my coffee. And you get really mad at me because you're like, you should be drinking water. And I'm like, nah, there's water in my coffee.
Yeah.
And then I'm all dehydrated.
Yeah. So I learned with this whole like crunchy journey that I've been on that drinking coffee on an empty stomach is actually really bad for your hormones.
Yeah.
And so...
And then drinking coffee before water is supposedly really bad too.
Yeah. So
And I like my first sip of anything in the morning
is coffee. Yeah.
And it's so bad.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
So that's kind of what started it. I started, well, I need to eat breakfast before I have coffee.
Right.
And then I started cutting back on coffee and I was like, I think it's been a little over a year since I did the whole 1 cup of coffee a day.
Sounds about right.
Because I bought decaf chai.
Ugh.
It tastes just like chai.
Ugh.
Anyway.
So I'm going to get that tattoo.
What?
Death before decaf. 100%.
I did that as my like afternoon treat.
Ugh.
Because I already had coffee in the day and I still wanted something that tasted like coffee. So I'd get a decaf chai.
Yeah, might as well drink dirt.
It's been over a year. And you know how I know it's been over a year?
How? Oh, here we go. Dates. Here we go.
I'm really weird with dates. And I remember...
Let me guess. It was Lincoln's birthday. And then you're like, oh, I didn't drink coffee that day or whatever.
No. I just remember things by like events that happened.
Yeah.
So
Was there an earthquake?
No.
Okay.
You had the UFC fight. And we had people from church over, and Danny was here. And I was I will share my decaf coffee with you. And everybody was like, really? And I was like, well, he's the pastor. I need to share my decaf. So that's how I know it's been over a year. It's been over a year since that fight happened.
100%. Yeah, it's been like almost 2 years. But yeah, that's so funny. All you decaf people, get with the program. Dude, I swear, like, people are like, oh, I can't drink coffee past 5. I'm like, bro, you guys are on a
I always want to have like, oh, we should do a coffee night. And people look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Coffee night? I'm like, yeah. Y'all don't drink coffee? I drink coffee to go to sleep.
Bro, I'm too Mexican for our friends.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, I don't want to have a coffee brunch. I want to have a coffee night.
Mm-hmm, yep. We got friends that are like, dude, if I have coffee at 5, I won't sleep.
My mom's like that. She cannot have coffee past 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
What?
That's what she says.
That is weird.
She's like, no, porque luego no duermo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Sounds like your mom. 100%. Yep. Me, on the other hand, I can have coffee at 10 p.m. and sleep like a baby.
Oh, you should tell the Death Wish story.
Dude, that story is crazy. So we would have coffee nights at our friend Joel's house. Shout out Joel. And we would literally just like bombard his house all the time. Now that I think of it, that's kind of crazy, but it was fun. So our friend Alex had found this coffee by Death Wish. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna interrupt?
No.
You're gonna interrupt my story again?
No. Wait. I will patiently wait until you're finished.
Oh my gosh.
I'm working on it.
No, yeah. We can tell. Okay. So our friend Alex found this coffee. It's called Death Wish coffee. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be the highest caffeinated coffee, like, at that time. Because I'm pretty sure there's more now. Mm-hmm. But at that time. So he buys this bag, and we go to Joel's, and we brew a pot, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I think Alex had 2 cups. I had 2 cups. Our friend Isaac had 1. Mm-hmm. Joel had 1. And then our friend Sam had another one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Alex and I, like, we drank it, went home, slept like a baby. Like, the rest is history. Joel said he was up for a few hours, and then he finally was able to crash. Isaac said that he had a dream that he was, like, in the middle of a war. And, like, I was like, dude, what did they put in this coffee? Uh-huh. And then our poor friend Sam So Sam is like a $120 on a good day. Like on his best day, dude's like a $120. I guess at the time they were all going to the gym together, and Sam didn't sleep for like a day and a half, 2 days. Rumor has it he's still awake.
This was like, what, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, at least. But, yeah, coffee.
Yeah. So my story is now.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Yeah, what is your story, by the way, that you so kindly almost but did not interrupt? I commend you for that, babe. I'm so proud of you. So proud.
I'm literally crying.
Oh,
what
man.
is in this chai? Oh my gosh.
Those cutting onions out here, huh?
So Stephanie used to drink Death Wish.
Okay.
And she's like, this does nothing to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I want to try it. And it did nothing to me. So I used to drink Death Wish every single day.
Yeah.
That was my coffee of choice.
Yeah.
So that's all. It was, that was
short. Nice.
It was really short. So,
nice.
Yeah.
But there was a dude that I saw it on the news, or I saw it on an article or something like that. But I want to say that Death Wish makes energy drinks also. And like they're super high in caffeine, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I guess this dude had like one too many and like kicked the bucket.
Well, if you've heard Brett Cooper's story about the Red Bull.
Oh, like with the enlarged hearts and stuff?
I don't know if that's what happened to her brother.
Oh.
You've heard Brett Cooper's story that her brother, like he was, I think, a senior in high school, and they were out rowing, and then he just died.
Oh, yeah.
And they couldn't explain what it was. And the only thing that he did that was different from his twin brother was have Red Bull every day.
Wow.
And so now it's like, was that what it was? But at the time, they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I seen this dude
I think she was like 5 when that happened.
Yeah, I seen this dude have like an enlarged heart, and like you could just see it like beating out of his chest and stuff. Yeah. Thankfully, I'm immune to caffeine.
This was a very long introduction.
It's all good. Welcome to the pod.
So I want to talk about why I only try to have 1 cup of coffee a day. I should feel like there's like going to be a warning or something. This is going to be a very emotional episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to try so hard not to like cry throughout it, but I might.
I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
Yeah, it's going to be an emotional episode.
Yeah.
And I think coming into today, we still didn't really know what we were going to talk about. And I have like a list of topics that I want to discuss. And I was like, oh, let's talk about this. And like now that like I'm opening my mouth, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a hard one to get through. So.
But we're going to get through it.
We're going to get through it because God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Amen. So we're going to talk about our infertility.
Man, you can't even say it.
I can't even say
Let's go.
Our infertility journey. To be fair, I have not been diagnosed with unexplained infertility. I have been diagnosed with endometriosis, and I have been diagnosed with polyps, but the polyps are gone, Lord willing. They have not come back, which,
nope.
But I kind of want to take it back to when I started having issues and stuff.
Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time, bam. 1 hop this time, bam. Okay. Ooh, I would love to interview you.
Okay.
All right. All right. So our infertility. Dang it, now I can't say it. Infertility. You guys got to come up with a better word, man.
Infertility.
There we go.
Journey.
Yeah. So you got diagnosed with polyps.
Yeah.
Twice. Well, once, and then they were removed, and they came back, and then they were removed again.
They were removed twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's been good.
As of right now, yeah.
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 Like there hasn't been any.
Like I have
setbacks.
No, but I'm like traumatized from it.
Same.
I'm very
Yeah, same.
I'm very traumatized.
Yeah, no, it was not a fun time.
No.
It was not a fun time.
And I've been dealing with this since like before you and I even met.
Yeah.
So I've been dealing with it for a long time.
But you didn't know. Like you didn't know that you had anything or you were diagnosed with anything. You just kind of was like, I have an irregular, well, you have an irregular period because I can't get periods.
Men don't menstruate.
Yes. She's menstruating.
She's menstruating. I have a feminine-ish. What is it? I have a feminine Aaron. What is it?
She's menstruating. I freaking love that movie. For those of you that don't know, Blended. So, you were diagnosed with polyps, and then so take us through that polyp journey. Like the first time you
knew something was wrong.
Not knew something was wrong. I guess, yeah. Like what's that feeling? Like, can you describe the feeling when like they told you, oh, you have polyps?
I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So
I had to Google it. It's like legit. I had to Google it.
My nurse practitioner called me, and because I got diagnosed here in Wisconsin, but I've had issues even before that. So I don't know how far back you want me to go.
Let's just go from here.
From here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, you got diagnosed.
I got diagnosed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you just in the past you didn't. You knew there was something wrong, but you didn't know.
I didn't know what it was
polyps.
wrong. Yeah.
Right.
So I'll give a very short version, like literally very short version. I started my period when I was 9 years old, which is not normal.
Right.
It's not normal. But we didn't know any better. Like my mom didn't know any better. Like my mom didn't even talk to me about it because she's like, you're 9. You don't need to know about it. I was always irregular. Like sometimes I would get it, sometimes I wouldn't. And we just thought it was normal. So then when I turned 22-ish, I would get my period. Like, sorry, this is going to be a very TMI issue. But I would bleed for 3 months, and then I wouldn't get my period for 3 months, and then I would bleed for 3 months again.
Gotcha.
And so they just were like, you just need to be on the pill. Like, your body's not ovulating. Yeah. And I was like, well, okay. I didn't want to be on the pill.
Right.
But they put me on the pill. So I was on the pill for a year, and then I just stopped it. Like,
cold turkey?
Cold turkey, I stopped it, and then I was normal.
Okay.
And then I just started getting normal, and so I was normal for a couple of years. We get married, and then my period went wonky again. And I was like, okay, like, I chalked it up to stress. Like, I was just like, it's just stress. This has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We had just moved here, too, so, I mean, it kind of
Well,
made
it started
sense.
over there. It started when we were still in LA.
Yeah.
It still started there. So, we moved. I find a nurse practitioner here, and so this was March, April. I go to her, I tell her what's going on, and she kind of chalks it up to stress also. She's like, it does sound like it could just be stress. Are you guys trying to get pregnant? And I was like, yes and no. Like, we're not careful, but we're not planned. Like, we're not.
Yeah, there's not a science behind it.
Like, we're not, like, actively trying, but we're not actively not trying, but whatever. Because we still had the wedding in September. So
that's right,
it was kind of like, actually, we were trying not to because I was taking my temperature. So I was tracking my ovulation.
Yeah, because you don't want to be pregnant for the wedding.
I didn't want to be pregnant for the wedding. So I was tracking my ovulation. And that was when I got introduced to like tracking ovulations and all that stuff.
Yeah. Which I had no idea about.
Me neither.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I just thought you just took your temperature for when you were sick or whatever, not to try to have a baby over here.
Yeah. It went back to normal. Everything was fine. And then we go to LA, and then I get my period, and then it doesn't go away. Or like my menstrual cycle. Because that's another thing. Like, you have your cycle, and then within your cycle, you have different phases.
Right.
And so my menstrual just wasn't stopping. And so it was already going on a month. So I'm like, okay, like, it's been a month of me, like, bleeding out. So I called her again, and I was like, hey, it's happening again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the wedding. So she's like, okay, let's just do an ultrasound. So like, okay. So she does the ultrasound. And I remember I was still working with my other family, and she was a PA, so she was a physician's assistant. So my nurse calls me, and she tells me, like, hey, and I could tell by the seriousness of her voice that it wasn't good. It wasn't good, but it wasn't horrible.
Right, yeah.
So she's like, you have uterine polyps. That could explain why you're not getting pregnant. That causes, and I don't remember what she said. I just remember thinking, what does that mean? So I called Brianna, like my old boss, and she explained it to me. And I was like, so is that why I can't get pregnant? She's like, yeah, but it's easy. Like, they're easily removed. So I was like, okay. So we got them removed. I had the best doctor. He was so cool.
Yeah, I met him briefly, but
Yeah, you met him that day. My mom, was that the time my mom came?
Yep.
Yeah. So I got them removed, and then it was fine.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
Yeah.
And that was...
And then we went a few months.
It was October 2022, I think. Because it was after the wedding. The wedding was in September. Yeah.
And then we went a few months.
Everything was normal.
Like everything was cool. And then out of nowhere,
it happened again. I remember we were on our way to a Halloween party and I got my period and I was like, and that year, that summer, we decided like we're gonna try.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to have like a baby, and
it was almost a year to the date.
Yeah.
Of the removal.
And my doctor had told me, like, when I went for my post-op appointment, he said, if you're trying to have a baby, this is the time to do it because you're going to be, like, the most fertile now that those polyps are gone. So basically what uterine polyps are, it's basically a skin tag growing on your uterus. And those skin tags, that, like, it doesn't allow the embryo to stick.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So that's how I explain it. It's just a skin tag on the outside of your uterus.
Which is crazy. Like,
and there's a lot of things that can cause it, like age, like your diet, like not eating a healthy diet. So
coffee.
No, it's not necessarily coffee, but yeah. And this kind of goes into like why I was crunchy. So I started going crunchy in 2020. Yeah. That's what I got into, like young living and stuff.
Living young, let's go.
So I had already like transitioned all my cleaning products to clean products. What I don't think I was crunchy in was like my diet. My diet is what was lacking.
Yeah.
But everything else, like I tried to be crunchy.
Yeah. Try having a diet in LA. Impossible. Impossible.
And I think it's more possible.
Impossible. No, In-N-Out's so good every day.
But it's pretty like not healthy, but like it's healthier than McDonald's. It's not as whatever. We're going on a side tangent here.
Yep.
So anyway, so we're going to a Halloween party and I get my period and I immediately knew something was off.
Yeah.
I was like, something's off this time. And you were like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know, something's off. And then it wouldn't happen again. Like I got my period and then like for a month I was just nonstop.
Yeah.
And then I let it ride. And then I finally was like, all right, let me go to the doctor. And I went like towards the end of November, early December, I went and I did an ultrasound. And I came up with this theory in my head of what if I got pregnant and if I got polyps again, what if the embryo didn't stick and I'm having a miscarriage? That's what I thought.
I do remember that, yeah.
But I never took a pregnancy test, so there's no way to confirm that. So I'm talking to the ultrasound tech, and she tells me that, and she's like, I mean, it could be a possibility, but there's no way of knowing if you didn't take a pregnancy test.
Right.
And so I was like, like, should I be sad about this? Like, I don't know. She was like, no, like, don't mourn something that you don't know, like, whatever. So around that time, I'm starting to work with the twins, and so my boss is a cardiologist. She was the head of the cardiology department at a hospital. I don't know. The Lord really blessed me with like people who work in the medical field.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling her what's going on, and she says something about like, oh, endometriosis, and I'm like, what is that? And she goes, oh, that causes infertility. So I was like, okay. She's like, do you have that? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe she said endometrium. Like, she's like, maybe she said endometrium or endometrium. Like, I was like, I don't know. So then I'm at her house watching the girls. The girls were napping. Then I get a phone call from my nurse again. And she's like, more serious. She's like, so the polyps came back. And this time we found some endometriosis. And I just went like blank in the face. I was like, I think I told you first. And then I told Alyssa, like, I told you two first. And she was just like, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, I just don't know how to feel about this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was confused myself because I was like, what does this mean? Like, one, it's like,
I still don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like, one, you already got them out.
Oh, because you didn't know I could get them back.
Right, yeah.
I did. I did know I could get them back.
Yeah, I didn't know that they can regrow for whatever reason. I thought it was like a one and done type deal. Because in a way, like, after speaking to the doctor, like, that's what he kind of made it seem. Because it's like, we got them all out. So we like, he's like, we got them all out. We should be good. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Like, and in my mind, it's like, oh, we should be good long term. Like, we
No,
should be
I
good
knew
forever.
that they could come back.
you
He
know?
told me that in my post-op.
Gotcha.
Like, you are able to, like, you just have to be careful. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
I knew that then,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that, like,
They could come back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they did come back out, I was so confused. Like, why? Like, why is this
Yeah.
happening again? Like, we already went through this once, and it was literally hell, And then to
Like,
go,
our marriage was, it struggled because
Yeah.
we couldn't do anything. Like,
Right.
I didn't want to do anything. Like, I felt gross. I felt disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, newlyweds and you're not being intimate for like 3 months. Like,
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yep. And then to go through that cycle again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, like, why is this happening? And
Yeah.
it was a struggle. It 100% was a struggle. But God is good.
Well, before I got re-diagnosed, I was listening to a podcast, and the way they were explaining the polyps, they literally said what happens is the lining of your uterus gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and your body doesn't know if you ovulate. And so that's like, that's what's going on. And that's what they told me in 2012, but they never said it was polyps. So I got mad. Like, I got really mad. I remember I was crying and I was just like, how long have I been struggling with this? And like, nobody told me.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like the healthcare system already sucks.
Yeah.
Like, more so like the insurance. I had Kaiser in LA. Like, Kaiser sucks. So I just felt cheated. I felt like, how long have I been like having these struggles? And like, no one told me,
Right.
So I was super frustrated. And so when I found my new doctor, because my old doctor moved, so I had to get a new doctor. Like, she was like, I didn't like her. Like, we didn't click.
Yeah.
She made this like so much harder. And so I remember I went for my pre-op appointment. I was like telling her, oh, like, what about the endometriosis? And she's like, well, the supposed endometriosis. And I was like, what do you mean the supposed? Like, you're the one that read the report. You're the one that said I have it. And she's like, well, there's no way to confirm it. We'd have to like surgically remove it and test it. And I'm like, well, can we do that? And she's like, no, it'd just be more damaging. She's like, it's so small that
It was like 3 centimeters, something like that.
It was like 2 centimeters.
Yeah.
She's like, it's so small that it'd do more damage than good, like, to go in, because it's an actual surgery. So when you do the polyps, it's not a surgery. It's almost like a colonoscopy where they go in. I don't know where it's a colonoscopy. So I don't know why I'm pointing to.
Yeah, they don't go that way.
I know.
They don't go through the attic. They go to the basement.
Anyway, so they do that where,
Okay.
like, to get the endometriosis cells, it's an actual surgical opening.
Oh, that's crazy.
So she's like, it's just more damaging. So I was like, okay, whatever. And so that was the second time that I got them. So I got them, and then the timing of everything sucked because I think it was like the day before our anniversary
Yeah.
that I had to have my surgery or my procedure. I don't like calling it a surgery because technically it wasn't a surgery, it was a procedure.
Right.
So yeah, that was the second time that
Yeah.
it happened. And then it didn't like get fixed right away. This time it was a harder recovery the second time.
Yeah. The first recovery was quick.
Yeah, it was
It's like we went to Chicago the day after.
No, it's not even that. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about that. I'm talking about like with the first procedure, like I remember my period was so light the next month that I was like
I get what you mean. Yeah.
that I was like, I didn't even get a period. And they were like, no, it was. But I was like, okay. And so when I got my period after the procedure,
the second time.
Yeah, like it happened again. Like I wasn't stopping. Like
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah. And so I was super frustrated. I called my NP and I'm in her office and I'm crying and I'm telling her, like, I was like, my marriage is starting to suffer because of it. Like, we weren't getting along. I was super depressed. I was low on iron. Like, my energy levels were just like really low. And, that was around also the time where like things happened between us. And we could talk about that like another episode if you want. But our marriage was struggling because of all that stuff. So I just felt like I suck as a wife, and like I just felt like as a woman, like I couldn't even like do basic like woman things, you know? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and I remember like I would talk to Stephanie, like Stephanie was really my rock like during all this time. And I would tell her like, yeah, like we're not even intimate because of this and that. And she was like, why? And I'm like, well, because the Bible says this. And she's like, that's the Old Testament, Jocelyn. She's like, we don't live under the Old Testament. Like, I get it, you know, but whatever. And so that like kind of helped, you know? So I told my nurse and like I'm telling her all this stuff. And she's like, why are you so adamant about going on the pill? And I'm like, besides moral countless reasons, like,
Yeah.
I also like, I don't think I ever told you this, but I also felt like when we like fell into sin, like I did take the like plant B, you know? And so I started thinking like, is this a punishment of like me taking that? Because like I didn't know what I was taking.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. I was just like, oh, it stops it. And then I'm like, wait, like if I would have like conceived, it's literally the abortion pill. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I didn't know that at the time. And like I repented and I asked God for forgiveness of that. Like if I would have known what I was doing, I wouldn't have done it. But I did think that. Like I did think, what if this is like not a punishment, but like a consequence of that? And that's why now I'm like struggling with all these things. And yeah, and so so she asked me that, like, why are you so against pill? So I was like, well, I don't want, like, on top of like my own personal convictions and beliefs, I was like, I don't want things in my body that don't belong there. And she's like, I understand that. But my nurse practitioner was like heaven sent. Like she was
she was
so
cool.
patient with me. She did not push things on me. She was very much willing to work with me, but she also was like, if you give me a month, just give me a month of the pill. And I was like, a month? And she's like, give me 1 month. And I was like, okay. So I went on the pill and that didn't help. Like that didn't help. I felt like if anything, it made things worse because, and then she started upping my dosage.
Yeah.
Like usually you take a pill a day. I was taking 3 pills a day, like for 3 days. And so, yeah, it was bad. And so then I was looking for different prenatal pills. Like I said, my anemic levels were so low.
Iron levels were
My
so
iron
low.
levels, yeah.
You said anemic.
Sorry. My anemic levels were high. My iron levels were low.
Yeah.
I started looking for different iron level, like not medication, but level, vitamins, supplements.
Yeah.
And I came across this Christian company, and they're pro-life, pro-America.
Yeah.
Pro-God.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to try them. And I immediately felt like a difference in my body. I started feeling more energized. I haven't, to this day, like, I have not gotten my iron levels checked since...
The first time?
No, since the second time.
Okay.
So it's been like 1.5 years since I've gotten my blood levels checked.
Yeah.
Which I should probably do that. But I started taking these prenatals. I was taking their prenatal vitamins, their iron, and their omega-3s.
What's the company?
We Heart Nutrition. Love them. Code Jocelyn gets you 20% off. This is not sponsored.
Nope.
I'm just an ambassador for them, and they literally changed my life. So
We're here for a good cause.
yeah, and like I started taking them, and then I remember we went to LA in April for a wedding, and you and I got in a huge fight, and this is in the middle of everything that I'm going through. We come back, we get in this huge fight, and then I texted my nurse practitioner, and I was like, this isn't working. This isn't working.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I'm this. I'm that.
Yeah, and we were both frustrated at that point because it's like there was no intimacy in the relationship at all, and it took a toll on the both of us.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like we needed to like expel like the energy that we had. You know what I mean? That we couldn't, and that's what got hard for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's not me saying that that's the only thing that was hard. No.
Right.
Like the whole process was hard.
Because what was it like for you as an outsider?
Yeah, I mean, as a man, I think like we try to like we're fix-it like people. You know what I mean? And like in that time, it's like I couldn't do anything to fix it. Like I couldn't. There was nothing physically that I could have done to be like, oh, here's the answer, or this is what we need to do because this fixes it for sure. Like I wasn't able to like fix a problem, a physical problem that you had. And that was frustrating me because it's like, I'm such a like fix it person.
You couldn't fix it.
You know, and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that was one frustration for sure. Another one was like the focus of our lives at that point or during that period was like your condition. Because like we couldn't, there was nothing that we talked about outside of that, I feel. You know,
yeah. And I would have accidents too. So like if we'd be out in public, I'd be like, I need to go home now.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
Yeah, and it got very frustrating because it's like, well, I'm not ready to go home. You know what I mean? And like, we don't really go out here. And then that happens. It's like, oh, now we got to go home early. And, you know, so it was a rough, tough time for sure.
And then also on top of like all this stuff that's going on, I have outside voices. When are you going to have a baby? We're praying for you to have a baby. Like, baby this, baby that, baby this, baby that. And I'm just like, dude, stop. Like, stop asking me that. Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me. Yeah. Let alone, like, trying to bring a child into this. Like, I'm already going through stuff. And so that was really hard. And that took a toll on our marriage also.
Yeah, because at that point, it's like we put the baby talk on the back burner. Because, like, we understood that, okay, one, it's not happening anytime, like between that time frame, like it's not happening anytime between that.
Yeah.
And then two, it was like, once we hop that hurdle, it's like, okay, can we?
Well, yeah, but like what I'm saying is like during this thick of it, like people were asking. Yeah. And we had already said like, don't ask. And you specifically had a conversation with people that were like, don't bring it up in front of Jocelyn. Like, please stop bringing it up. Yeah. And they would still get brought up. And so I was just like, do you not care about what I'm going through? Right. Do you lack self-awareness? Like, your desire for me wanting to have a kid is like overseeing what I'm going through right now. And like, I just felt like it made me feel less than a woman. Yeah. And so that was really hard.
And it was an unnecessary pressure of like...
It was an unnecessary pressure and stress on top of what we were already going through.
Exactly.
And so taking this back to the prenatal vitamins, tying this in, I started taking those prenatal vitamins like a month before all this stuff like exploded. And so I'm texting my doctor, my nurse practitioner, and I'm telling her, and she's like, okay, she's like, let's start fresh. Don't take any birth control pills. Like, don't take any for a week. Let your body reset for a week. Start again. So I'm like, okay. Well, the Monday that I was supposed to start them, I stopped bleeding. Yeah. And I was like, all right. Yeah. Okay. So then...
I mean, I don't think you stopped completely. I think it was less.
It was lighter.
Yeah, it was a lot lighter.
Almost overnight, though. Overnight.
It was a lot lighter than it was before.
I was like, well, do I take the pill? Like, I don't want to, like, if I'm not bleeding, like...
I remember that phone call, too. You called me, you're like, it's super light. I don't know what to do. Like, if I take the pill, like, do I not take it? Is it... Like, if I don't take it, is it going to go back to, like, how it was and everything? And, you know, I was just like, I was put between, like, a rock and a hard place. So I was like, if she takes it, then we're back at square one. If she doesn't take it, we're probably back at square one, you know? And it was just a hard decision. Yeah. But you finally decided to do what?
Not take it. I made the decision not to take it. I was like, well, I'm just going to see how this week goes. Yeah. And so I texted her and I was like, hey, it's day 3 and like it's gone. Like I'm not bleeding anymore. I don't want to take it if I'm not bleeding. And she's like, okay. She's like, don't take it. And that was the last conversation I had with her. Yeah. And then she left me. Yeah. A month later, this is exactly a year ago. And the only reason I know
here we go.
is because of my Facebook memory came up of when I was going blonde, like my hair. I had my hair appointment and I was at the chair and I was like, crap, I'm going to get my period. But I like had stuff with me. And so then like it became a like, how long is it going to be? Like Like,
yeah, that was scary for sure. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it was, when you were telling me like, oh, I'm starting, I'm like,
ugh.
like fingers crossed, here
Yeah,
we go, you
and
know?
it lasted 5 days.
Yeah.
And so my menstrual cycle, like, average woman's cycle is like a 28-day cycle. Average. I don't know how average that is because everybody's is different.
Right.
Mine is usually 36 days.
Okay.
So mine can be anywhere between 30 and 36. So like day 37, I'll start my period.
So that's what, like a month and a week?
A month and a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, but it could be like 30 to
For
like
sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I got my period and it was 5 days. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the shortest period I've ever had. So then it stopped and then it started like, okay, I started counting like, okay, day 1, day 36,
Yeah.
day 37. And it's been like, there's been a couple hiccups where like I'm a week late but then I get my period. And it's when I'm late that I'm like, how long is it gonna be?
Yeah.
So like, but it always ends up being 5, maybe 6 days.
Yeah.
Randomly 7, but when it's 7, it's like I don't even count the 7th day because there's a difference between spotting and like actual whatever. And I was like, I can't help but think it's these vitamins that I'm taking. They're not organic, but they are whole ingredients.
Yeah.
So there's no seed oils or any of that kind of stuff. They're whole food. They're called wholesome prenatal or wholesome omega, wholesome iron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was taking their men's stuff for about a month.
Yeah.
And then I stopped because
We forgot to order.
Yeah, we forgot to order them. But
Yeah.
if you guys want to, shoot some over here, we're willing to do it. But no, like in that month, I can seriously say, like the first week I didn't feel much. You know, the second week is where it's like, oh, all right, cool. Like we're getting somewhere because that's the time where like we were serious about the gym.
Yeah.
And we went on vacation, came back, and
our diets were really good.
Yeah.
We were doing carnivore.
And like, I was feeling great. And I mean, I hadn't took a multivitamin or any type of vitamin in forever, like years, you know? And you finally convinced me, you're like, just try it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So, because I'm always
their ambassador program is really good.
Yeah, and I'm always skeptical about like multivitamins and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is the best. No, this is the best. No, we're the best. And it's like,
and
well,
they don't
who's
claim
the best?
that. Like they don't claim to be like we're the best.
No.
They're just very humble and like honest and
But
transparent.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like it's always very like skeptical, like of taking a multivitamin because they all do the same thing.
Well, I'll tell you this
know?
much: their iron, you can take 2 a day. I take 1 because I don't want to get constipated.
That's hilarious.
If you take too much iron, you can get constipated.
Really?
Yeah. So there was 1 week where I completely forgot to take my vitamins. And that week I was exhausted. Like I would wake up late. I would wake up early. I'd be like, I'm so tired.
You
like,
wake up groggy.
Like exhausted. I remember there was one particular Saturday. I woke up early. I fell back asleep. And then we didn't have anything going on that day. And then I was here and then I was like, I'm going to go take a nap. And I took a nap and like I was just sleeping the whole day. Yeah. And my mom calls me and she's like, and I'm telling her what's going on. And she goes, are you anemic? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, are you taking iron? And I was like, not this week. No. And so I started taking it again and I got back to normal. Like I was just like, it's just wild. Like, you know, so that just shows how good their stuff is. Yeah. But
it's a trip how the body works too. But
so this conversation that we're having right now is super convicting, and it's making like I'm pretty good when we go to the grocery store. Like, okay, like I try to buy as organic as I possibly can. But it's definitely convicting me. Like we need to get back to where we were. Yeah. Like
it's hard to ball on a budget.
It's not even that. It's just like I feel like with me working so much, like what I've been doing, it's like it's hard. So it's usually just like rice and this and that.
Yeah.
But I was really doing really good. But anyway, so now like everything is normal. Everything's fine. Yep. It's funny too the way my body works because like let's say I'm like a week late, I will take a test just to see the negative. Like, I know I'm not pregnant. I see the negative and I'm like, all right. And then the next day my period comes.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like stress has so much to do with it. Yeah, like I've heard so many stories of people like the second they stop stressing out about it, like they get pregnant. And like kind of fast forwarding, like everything being normal and stuff. Like I went through this at the end of last year. It was really hard for me because I found out that like, and it's not necessarily like I have this strong desire to have a child. Like it's not that, but it was happening to everyone around me. And so I started feeling, well, what's wrong with me? Like, you know, forgetting that I have endometriosis. But like within 2 weeks, I found out of like 5 or 6 friends of mine that are pregnant. And they're not just like random like, no, they're like people that I have relationships
Yeah, like
with.
close friends,
Close friends. And so I took that really hard. Like, there was one time where we were at a party and I just was like, I gotta go. Like, I need to leave. And you had told me very, like, lovingly, but you were also very frustrated. But I understand why you were frustrated. And I think it was rightfully so. And that's what helped me, like, snap out of it. You pretty much were like, you can't take away someone else's, like, joy. Like, I get it. It's hurtful for you, but you're also taking it away from them. And not only are you taking it away from them, like, you're throwing yourself a pity party. And, like, you can't be throwing yourself.
It's like, the way I told you, it's like you were creating a show without trying to create a show, which was like, because now people are focused on, like, why did they leave?
Oh, that particular party?
Yeah. You know, or like, like that particular day. I remember telling you that too. But it's like, that's part of the whole pity party too, that you threw yourself. But,
and I didn't mean to. It was just like, ugh, like another one. Like, so I called my friend and I was like, they didn't mean to announce it. It just kind of happened. And so I called her and I apologized. Like, I was like, hey, like, I don't want you to think I'm not happy for you. Like, I really am. I'm really sorry if I took away from that. That was not my intention. And she's a midwife. And so she's like, nope, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, you have nothing to be. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it, but you have nothing to be sorry about.
I felt so bad that I called her husband. And like, no, I think I saw him the day after. And then, you know, we talked and I was like, dude, like, I'm sorry too. And he's like, dude, it's fine. Like, you know, we kind of had an idea of what was going on, but we get it.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
right,
also,
cool.
too, like, I don't think people knew the extent of, like, the hurt that I was going through. So, like, it did seem, if you didn't know what I was going through, like, you just kind of like, well, what the heck, like, is their problem, you know? But not that they did that. They didn't do that. I'm just, like, I'm an overthinker and whatever. But anyway, all this to say, like, I found out of, like, 5 to 6 pregnancies within 2 weeks. And so I remember you have been very much, look, if this doesn't happen for us, like, we still have to live our lives. Like, we cannot let this be a crutch. We cannot let this, like, be sad. Like, mourn it and, like, get yourself together and, like, move on and stuff. And so I have a friend who recently found out she was pregnant, and she's texting me, like, hey, like, she's processing things. And I'm just like, is this really how you're telling me? Like, I don't know, like, what? And so at the end, she's like, wait a minute, like, and like, she's like, and she sent me this very loving and sweet text. And then we talked on the phone and I told her, I was like, you were processing as you were. And she's like, I really was. She's like, I didn't mean anything I didn't want you to think I was like, you were not being insensitive at all. I was like, I just know you and you were processing and telling me at the same time. And then I told her, I was like, look, do not share things with me. Like, I love you so much and I want to be a part of this journey with you. Anyway, I've had people like tell me and I'm like, hey, like, don't.
Yeah, and that's been really cool because it's like before it even gets like announced, I think your feelings get to them too. And they're like, hey, we just found out we're about to announce this, but I want to let you know first. So that it kind of like softens the blow in a way.
It's not even softens the blow. It's I've been where you're at. I've been where you're at and I want you to hear it from me. And so those texts and calls have been unnecessary.
They've been the difference of friendships.
But
I'm just kidding.
I don't want to, like, hear me when I say this. They've been unnecessary, but very loving and kind because they don't owe me that. No, I'm nobody.
Yep.
Like, so the fact that they go out of their way to like, hey, we're pregnant. We want you to hear it from us. Like, it's like, wow, like you really value me and stuff. And so,
but again, it's because they've been
my shoes. Yeah, they've been in my shoes, and
before they were able to get pregnant.
And so, after last year, and like I said, this year my prayer was like, Lord, I just want to focus on my marriage. I want to focus on this, and let all the other stuff go away. And like, like I feel like the Lord has given me new joy and just like
a new perspective.
But also like I'm so thankful for my friends' kids. Like we just went, shout out Haley, our number one fan. We just went to their house, and like their kids were just like loving on us so much, and it's like I don't think they know how much that means to me.
No.
Because it's just like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have that, but like the fact that like the kids like love on me so much, it's like like Aiden, like when we were like Selah and Aiden, when we went to Tennessee, and like they were just loving on us so much, and like all that stuff, like
it's really cool, like not being a parent, but like being almost a parent at the same time, if that makes any sense. But
it's not that you're a parent.
Yeah.
It's that
you get like that little feeling, or like that little nugget, of like, oh, this is what it would be like.
Yeah.
And
but
it's
better.
But it's a really cool feeling, and like my joke has always been like, I love kids, I just love giving them back too.
I've been really good, like with the whole not having kids things and that perspective of like, if it doesn't happen for us, it's fine.
You've been better.
I've been better. So when Mother's Day came this year, I was shocked that it hit me as much as it did. I was.
I laugh because I'll share a story after. It's so funny.
Go for it.
I can interrupt. Let's go. It's Mother's Day, and I'm not thinking anything of it. Like realistically,
Mexicans' Mother's Day was the day before.
Yeah, we call our moms, and we did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so this is Sunday, and then our friend walks up to me.
What did I say to you before church?
I don't remember what you said.
That just goes to show how much you weren't paying
100%,
attention.
yeah.
I was like, like I just feel very today, and like.
That's right, yeah. But you didn't mention that it was Mother's Day. Like you just said.
I did.
I don't remember that.
I said something along the lines of like, what did I say? I said, I think I know why I'm a funk. I think I know why I've been in a funk, because I was in a funk Mexicans Mother's Day too. I was like, I think I know why I've been in a funk.
And you weren't even telling me, because you're like, I'm not just going to tell you because I'm going to have you guess what I'm going through.
I was like, I think with it just being like Mother's Day and stuff, it's just like, ugh. And I think it's just hitting me more than what I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I said that in the morning, but it didn't click.
It didn't click, no. I was getting ready for church. It didn't click at all. And then our friend comes up to me, and she goes, hey, how's she doing, by the way? And it just went, Nyum. So I was like, she's good. It's Sunday. Like, what are we talking about? And she's like, right, but it's Mother's Day. And I was like, I'm a moron. Like, it all makes sense now. And then I look at her, and then I looked at you, and then you were like talking to somebody else.
I had a baby in my hand.
You were talking to somebody else.
Because someone else came up to me. I'm telling you, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'll name them right now. Dana, Whitney, Carrie. Marin texted me the next day. LaShawn talked to me the next day, or when I saw her. I feel like there was more off the top of my head. Those are the people that I can think of, but I'm pretty sure like more people came up to me, but yeah.
And then like I look at our friend, and I was like,
Whitney.
I was like, dude, you're right. Like, what the heck? And it like totally just like, for me, it was like another Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I had already said like, Happy Mother's Day to my mom. I said Happy Mother's Day to my mom.
Instead of the day before.
It was cool. And then, but like the more I sat there and like thought about it, the more I was like, it all makes sense. I'm an idiot.
But it was shocking that it hit me because I was so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because it was back to back. And I was like, maybe I'm just going to stay off Instagram today. But yeah. So, but I've been doing really good. But like, I do have a heart for women who haven't reached that side of peace yet. And obviously that's all the Lord's doing.
Yeah.
Because if I stay in my feelings, I'm going to be stuck in my feelings. But Elle sent me this devotional of like waiting in hope. And that was really helpful. That was also around the time where like things were really heavy. Yeah. So like even little things like that, like just, she didn't even tell me she got it. Like she just sent it to me and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know? But I don't know where I was going with this. But all this to say, like, we did have to have some like hard conversations with people and like, this is why we don't talk about things and this is why things are sensitive. And like, ever since like, I've stopped hearing like those, when are you gonna be a mom? What are you gonna do this?
Yeah, those harsh comments.
Like, I don't feel that pressure anymore. And I think that's also helped like get a big, there were people who like literally I didn't even talk to, like send me messages on Instagram. Like I remember it was the first time we went, no, it was the second time I went to Tennessee and I was holding Selah. I took a picture of me and Selah, and this person who literally I have no relationship with, like we're just Facebook friends. It's this whatever. And she's like, when are you going to have one? And I was like, when the Lord says, how about that? Like, you know? So it's just like, you don't know what someone's going through. Yeah. So like, I'm always very careful with how I ask things. Cause like, and I had this conversation with Kate also, Elle's sister-in-law, my friend Kate, Elle's sister-in-law. We talked about it when we were there. And I did ask her, I was like, do you guys want to have more children? And she's like, well, if the Lord allows. She's like, I'm very careful. Like when I say, because I know you guys are also like in your own journey and stuff. And I was like, yeah, but I've also reached that point where like, you know what, if the Lord allows and if he doesn't, that's fine. Like,
yeah, I've always told you, like, it's like we can't be like, woe is me all the time.
Right.
You know, it's like we have to continue to live life. We have to, like, we can't just sob all day and just be, you know, in bed all day because of it. It's like, no, like there's still so much to do out there. Spiritually, physically, you know, there's a lot for us to learn still. And, you know, I think it's getting better. It's getting to the point of like, hey, if it's in the cards for us, cool. And if it's not, that's cool too. You know, like we can love on our friends' kids and, you know, and we have them over and we go over and stuff. And it's been really, really cool. And like I said, once they start crying, I'm like, here's your crying baby.
Yeah. Something else too that has been really cool to see God work in things, and that also changed my perspective, was around all this, when I started kind of getting over the hump, and this is going to be a different podcast episode because I do want to talk about God's provision, but we went through a very like financial strain where I lost my job. I lost a big part of my income. And that was my, is this why we don't have children, Lord? Because like if we can barely afford to feed each other, honestly, how are we going to feed a child? And so that also gave me a lot of peace of God knows what he's doing. Like I have, again, like going back to surrendering desires that we want. Like the Lord was so gracious, like even through that trial, still showing me like, I got you. Like I know what I'm doing. Like don't ever for a second lose sight of me and who I am because you're going to lose it.
And like, and it's all going to be okay. Like it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be, you know, it's all going to be beautiful also. Like, you know, whether we have kids or not, like I'm going to love you the same. And, you know, it's always going to be peachy. But, I think it's cool. Like going through it with you was hard, you know, especially because it's like, I didn't understand emotionally what you were going through. I didn't understand physically what you were going through. I didn't understand, like I said, like I couldn't fix you. Like it wasn't a part that you could just take apart and then redo and then put back together. You know what I mean? And that journey was hard, just because like despite like put aside our marriage, put aside like our physical struggles and things like that, it was like emotionally, like I had so much emotion for you, but I just didn't understand how to like give it to you in a way.
And then at the same time, like I'm now looking back and I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but like this just came to me. Like, I also was not pleasant. I was not a pleasant person to be around. And there was a lot of outside sources that were stressing me out. And rather than me like, the way I would speak to you was very, you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do that and blah, blah, blah. Because I was already stressed out and I felt like I like was taking all these punches and like, why am I getting the punches? You're the one that should be getting the punches, not me. So then I would go and like lash out at you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that didn't make things easier for you to like want to comfort me.
Not at that time, no.
Right.
No, because it's like I was already going through like all the emotions of trying to like figure it out.
And then
you
on
know
top
what I
of
mean?
that,
and
I'm
on top of that, it's like you weren't being easy either. So it's like, oh, like now I got to deal with this while I haven't even like fixed this yet, you know? So it's like, it's a lot, but it was necessary because it brought us together. It brought us like, you know, more like, intimate.
Like
and
all this just brought us like closer together. And like,
and it brought us closer to God because it's like without God, like all of this would have been even harder.
Yeah, and I felt like we were trying, not that we weren't trying to do it without God, but like I lost sight of that at least. I'm going to speak for myself because I don't know where you were. But I was just so like in my feelings and so in my frustrations and so what is going on and why this and why me and like rather than, okay, Lord, like you know what you're doing and it wasn't until we got over some like hard valleys and like now looking back at it, I'm like, I think I would go all over, like do that all over again because it did strengthen my relationship with the Lord and my dependency on the Lord for myself and our marriage and my dependency on daily surrender. And that's, I feel like something that the Lord has been trying to work in my life for so many years, like surrender my sin, surrender my need for a husband or my want for a husband, I should say, surrender relationships, friendships, and like surrender this need for wanting a baby. Like, just give it to me. Like, just, it's fine. It's like that picture of like Jesus with the big teddy bear and the little girl and she's holding on to her little teddy bear and she's like, but I want it. And God's like, no, I got something better. And that's what he's shown me. It's like, even when I don't understand it, it's like what Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, like God will get us through it. And even if not, he's still good. And there's a song that literally says that, like, I know you're able to do this and I know you're able to do that. But even if you don't, like, it's okay. And that's literally like the motto that I try to live by now. Like, even if this doesn't happen, like God is still good and he's going to do something. I don't know what it is. And like he doesn't promise people in the Bible, you're going to be a mother. He doesn't promise women that. Like he doesn't. But he does promise eternal life. He does promise peace. He does promise delight in him. And those are the promises that I want to hold on to, not to this false hope of like, oh, well, I'm going to be a mom because God wants me to be a mom. Like there were so many women that like struggle, you know? But,
it was hard for me. Like I would ask God too. I was like, why are we going through this? Like, why? Like my wife's Mexican. She's already hard to deal with. And then you put this on top of that. Like what's going on? And but like I said, like it brought us closer together. It's like, man, it was hard. It was hard. Like there was days where it's like, I would like cry in my frustrations. And it's just like, like you'd be asleep and I'd be like, why is this happening? You know, and but in all that, like, would I go through it again? Yes.
Just handle it different. I agree.
Because there's like some things that I would totally change. Or like, not change, but like I would do better. You know, because looking back, it's like, oh, I could have done that better. Or I could have done this other thing better too. But also like if it's me doing it better, like giving you like that false hope. You know what I mean? Like, was I going to like sugarcoat things just to not make you mad? or is I gonna like tell you things differently just to like
I don't think
lower
it's,
the punch
I
or
don't
whatever?
think it's like it goes back to communication, and I think it's, and this goes for me as well. It's not about what you say; it's about how you say it.
True.
So maybe in the like, would I say things differently? Maybe not what I say, but how I say it
in a different tone.
Yeah,
that's
because I've had those conversations with people where I'm venting out my frustration, like especially early on in our marriage, and this is a different tangent from like fertility stuff, but like I'd be like, it's because this and that and that and that, and like Al and Stephanie would be like, Jocelyn, this isn't a hill to die on. Like it's not the hill to die on. Like you need to stop, or like, and they would check me.
No.
And then I remember Stephanie would be like, you can't talk to Adrian like that because he's gonna go toe to toe with you, and you're gonna lose because Adrian's not submissive.
No.
And not only is Adrian not submissive, the Bible calls you to submit. And I'd be like, shut up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But so
it's true.
Yeah, I do think our relationship has gotten a lot better because of all these things that we've gone through and all these learning experiences is that the Lord has given us the opportunities to go through.
Yeah.
I've heard somewhere, I don't know who said it, maybe it was a friend of ours, or I heard it somewhere, like, see this as opportunities of, okay, Lord, like, what are you trying to show me, or what are you trying to mold me? Like, how are you trying to mold me? And I heard this early on as a Christian when I was still going to the church where I accepted Christ. It was, don't ask why me, ask what are you trying to show. And I forget that a lot.
No, for sure. Like for me, that's like an afterthought.
Yeah.
You know, like after I went through, like after I figured it out, because we don't really figure it out, it was like, oh, that's what that was for.
Yeah.
Like I should have asked that instead of being like, why me?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is a heavy episode. I didn't think I was going to cry as much.
Yeah. That was going to go worse. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I love you so much.
I love you too, man.
And I always say this, like I say this to people all the time, like, you are so patient. And I always feel like that's something I'm not deserving of because I'm not patient, but it's also like God shows me his patience through you. And I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you.
I just love you so much.
I love you too.
And I know like we're in this together, and like I'm just really thankful that you're my rock and stuff.
I love you better.
You too. Don't cry, because then I'm gonna cry.
It's getting onions out of here, bro. That's crazy.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else
No.
you want to add.
Nope.
I was not expecting to cry. I think that's it. I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you guys for allowing us to be vulnerable. And
if you guys are going through your journey, like, speak out. I think that that's like the most important thing that you can do. Is there was moments I remember, like, when you would just shut down and you wouldn't let me in.
Yeah.
And I would ask, like, what's going on? How can I help? Like, what do you need?
Yeah.
And
Even
like,
if it's just like, give me space.
Right. And it's like, nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to deal with this on my own and everything. And it's like, as men, like, we want to fix that, because we're problem solvers.
Yeah.
And it's like, I knew there was a problem. I just didn't know how to solve it, and it was, so like, if you could be vocal about it, if you can, like, make your partner, or not make your partner, but like have your partner like understand what you're going through,
or not even,
or like just communicate it. Be like, hey, you know what, dude? Like, there's nothing you can do, but this is what I'm feeling, and that kind of gives us like, cool. It's not me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the issue. I'm not the one that's like she's mad at or whatever. Because our first thing, like when I see you, at least, like, I'll speak for me. Like, when I see you and it's like you're mad, it's like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, and then like you start scrambling of like things that like you're like, what did I do? Like, why is she being mad? Why is she being this way?
Yeah.
Until like I ask her and I'm like, is it me you're mad at? And you're like, no. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's not me. Now I can focus on like what is really going on and you know, try to help you out that way too.
Yeah. And then also, like, aside from that, like, this is why church community is so important. Also, like, I would not have been able to like go through what I went through without like there were so many women in my small group who dealt with their own infertility issues, their own miscarriages and things like that. So it's always good to have someone who has been through that with you, like walk in your corner.
Yeah.
Like Carrie, like I mentioned this last episode, like she told me, she's like, I'm saving a Happy Mother's Day for you. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm saving one for you. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like, you know, I said something nicer, but for bye, thanks. No.
Okay.
No, she knows.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, just thank you guys again for just allowing us to be vulnerable and just the amount of love and support that we've gotten in our infertility journey, and also like through this podcast. Like we've heard just so many people like be encouraged, and it encourages us because to be honest, like we don't know what we're doing. Like we're just here talking testimonies and things like that.
And it's a win it. Let's go.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll end it on that note, on a good note. Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it.
So thank you guys. We love you so much. And again, if you need some prayer or someone to talk to, like you can always reach out to us.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Send us a DM.
Yeah.
This is You Plus Coffee. We out.
Bye.
Peace.